What if your thoughts aren't entirely your own? Imagine leaked Pentagon documents hinting at advanced technologies designed to influence, even control, mass consciousness. While we can't definitively confirm these claims, the possibility alone demands a deeper look into the forces shaping our perceptions and beliefs. Because if even whispers of such power are real, the stakes couldn't be higher. The core premise here isn't about shadowy figures pulling strings, but about understanding the systems that subtly program our minds. Think of education, intended to enlighten, yet often standardizing thought. Or consider the media, ostensibly informing us, but relentlessly framing narratives. These systems, while not inherently malicious, possess the power to shape what we believe is true, good, and possible. Let's take media framing as our first example. Watch how a single event can be spun into drastically different narratives depending on where you get your news. One outlet might call it a peaceful protest, while another brands it a violent riot, instantly shaping your emotional response and predisposing you to a particular viewpoint. But what is mass consciousness anyway? Simply put, it's the collective set of beliefs, values, and attitudes shared by a population. It's the invisible glue that binds society together, influencing everything from consumer trends to political movements. Mass consciousness dictates what's considered normal, acceptable, and desirable, and if that consciousness is being manipulated, the implications are staggering. Why should you care? Because your ability to think freely is the cornerstone of your individual freedom. Subtle forms of control erode your self-determination, turning you into a passive recipient of information rather than an active creator of your own reality. Consider the echo chambers of social media, designed to confirm your existing beliefs, shielding you from diverse perspectives and hindering your ability to think critically. These techniques of mass persuasion aren't confined to the fringes. They permeate nearly every facet of modern life. Advertising subtly shapes your desires, political messaging influences your vote, and even entertainment subtly reinforces particular worldviews. We're bombarded with carefully crafted narratives designed to influence how we vote, what we buy, and who we trust. But here's the empowering truth. Awareness of these techniques is your first step toward reclaiming your mental sovereignty. Understanding cognitive biases, for example, can help you resist manipulation and make more informed decisions, ensuring you act from a place of conscious choice rather than programmed reaction. Think of this as waking up from the matrix, or deprogramming your mind. We're not talking about Neo dodging bullets, but about recognizing the subtle ways your perceptions are being shaped and actively choosing your own reality. The matrix serves as a potent metaphor for the illusion of control, showcasing the potential for liberation when one becomes aware of the underlying systems at play. History offers stark examples of the power of mass persuasion. Take Nazi propaganda, a chilling demonstration of how psychological techniques can be used to manipulate an entire population into embracing horrific ideologies. By understanding the specific tactics, they employed fear-mongering, scapegoating, and the relentless repetition of lies, we can better recognize and resist similar tactics today. A key concept to grasp is that of cognitive biases. Systematic errors in thinking that can be exploited to influence decision-making. The confirmation bias, for example, is our tendency to seek out information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs, even if that information is inaccurate or incomplete. This bias can easily be exploited to create echo chambers, where individuals are only exposed to information that reinforces their worldview, making them more susceptible to manipulation. Throughout this video, we'll be exploring the roles of media, education, and government in shaping our consciousness. We'll examine how media narratives, educational curricula, and government policies can subtly promote specific worldviews, often without our conscious awareness. And we'll dive deep into the fundamental pattern of narrative repetition in media and entertainment. Recurring themes and storylines are constantly reinforcing specific ideologies and worldviews. For instance, the hero's journey, while seemingly harmless, is frequently used to legitimize established power structures and promote conformity, subtly discouraging dissent and independent thought. If these documents are real, what else is being hidden? And more importantly, what can we do about it? The leaked Pentagon documents themselves allegedly describe advanced technologies for subliminal messaging and neurological manipulation. While we can't confirm their authenticity, the very notion raises chilling questions about the extent to which our minds are vulnerable. You might even notice subtle examples of subliminal messaging in everyday life. A specific color used in an advertisement designed to elicit a particular emotion, or a fleeting image flashed on the screen to influence your subconscious mind. Later in this video, we'll explore specific techniques you can use to protect your mind from manipulation and actively create your own reality. We'll delve into practical strategies for reclaiming your mental sovereignty, empowering you to break free from the chains of mass consciousness control. So, what if those subtle examples of subliminal messaging are just the tip of the iceberg? The alleged leaked Pentagon documents speak of technologies capable of influencing consciousness on a mass scale, technologies that could make those subliminal flashes seem like child's play. Let's be clear, we're entering speculative territory here, dealing with claims that are far from proven. However, the very possibility that such tools exist compels us to examine their potential implications. Imagine neural manipulation technologies, devices that could subtly alter brain activity to promote certain beliefs or behaviors. The documents hint at such possibilities, describing sophisticated methods for influencing emotional states and cognitive processes. If such technologies exist, the ethical implications are staggering. Who decides how they're used? What safeguards are in place to prevent abuse? The potential for these technologies to be weaponized is terrifying. Imagine a world where elections are rigged not through ballot tampering, but through the subtle manipulation of voters' minds. A society where dissent is suppressed not through overt force, but through the engineering of apathy and compliance. Where true consent becomes an illusion, and individual freedom is eroded beyond recognition. Before we fall too far down the rabbit hole, it's crucial to acknowledge a very real possibility, that these leaked documents are themselves a form of disinformation, a deliberate attempt to sow discord, undermine trust in institutions, and create a climate of paranoia. After all, what better way to control the narrative than to release seemingly damning information that ultimately proves to be false or misleading? This is why critical thinking and healthy skepticism are paramount. We must approach these claims with caution, scrutinizing the evidence and considering alternative explanations. The goal isn't to blindly accept or reject everything we hear, but to cultivate a discerning mind that can sift through the noise and arrive at informed conclusions. But even if the documents are fake, the idea behind them is compelling, because the techniques and technologies, if real, would likely create feedback loops where manipulated people reinforce the initial manipulation, creating a self-sustaining cycle. For example, manufactured outrage on social media can be amplified by bots and trolls, creating a distorted perception of public opinion. This manufactured outrage, in turn, can influence media coverage and political discourse, further reinforcing the initial manipulation. The result is a self-perpetuating cycle of misinformation and division, making it increasingly difficult to discern the truth. The system preys on itself by pitting us against ourselves. Let's bring this back to earth with tangible examples of persuasion techniques used daily, starting with framing. News outlets do this constantly. Consider coverage of climate change. One outlet might frame it as an environmental crisis demanding urgent action, while another might frame it as a hoax perpetrated by scientists seeking funding. These drastically different framings shape public perception and influence policy debates. Or take political rhetoric. A politician might frame a tax cut as economic stimulus to gain support, while opponents frame it as a giveaway to the wealthy to generate outrage. The underlying policy is the same, but the framing determines how people perceive it. Another subtle yet powerful technique is anchoring. Have you ever wondered why stores often display artificially inflated, original prices next to the sale price? This is anchoring in action. By presenting a high initial price, retailers create the illusion of value, making the sale price seem like a bargain, even if it's the actual market value. Car dealerships are notorious for this. They might start with a high sticker price, then offer a series of discounts and incentives to make you feel like you're getting a great deal, even if you're paying the same price you would anywhere else. This manipulates your perception of value, leading you to make purchasing decisions based on perceived savings rather than actual need. Then there's priming, which works on a subconscious level. Ever notice product placement in movies? That's priming. By repeatedly exposing you to a particular brand or product, advertisers subtly influence your purchasing decisions. A character drinking a specific brand of soda might make you more likely to buy that brand the next time you're at the store, without you even realizing why. This extends beyond products. Certain images or sounds can trigger specific emotional responses. A sad song might make you feel nostalgic, while a fast-paced action scene might make you feel excited. These emotional responses can then be used to influence your behavior, making you more susceptible to persuasion. Finally, consider cognitive dissonance, which exploits the discomfort we feel when our beliefs and actions are inconsistent. Politicians often use this to manipulate voters. For instance, a politician might exploit inconsistencies between people's values and their actions to create feelings of guilt or shame, which can then be used to motivate them to support certain policies. For example, if you claim to care about the environment, how can you support policies that harm it? This creates a feeling of cognitive dissonance, pressuring individuals to align their actions with their stated beliefs, even if those beliefs are based on misinformation or manipulation. These techniques are amplified by three key control vectors: media, education, and government. Social media algorithms create echo chambers, feeding you information that confirms your existing beliefs while shielding you from diverse perspectives. Personalized recommendations keep you engaged, reinforcing your biases and isolating you from opposing viewpoints. This creates a distorted perception of reality, making it difficult to discern the truth and fostering polarization. Educational curricula can shape worldviews and instill certain values, potentially limiting critical thinking. History textbooks often present a biased or incomplete account of events, reinforcing dominant narratives and suppressing alternative perspectives. Standardized testing can stifle creativity and critical thinking, rewarding conformity and discouraging independent thought. This subtle shaping of young minds can have profound long-term effects on society. Governments use propaganda and surveillance to monitor and control dissent, creating a climate of fear and conformity. Surveillance technologies track citizens' online activity, and this information can be used to suppress political opposition. The very knowledge of being watched can have a chilling effect on free speech and political expression. The aim is simple: control the information, control the people. These three vectors, media, education, and government, work together as interlocking systems to reinforce a particular worldview and maintain control. Media narratives often reflect and support government policies, while educational institutions reinforce these narratives through their curricula. This creates a closed loop of information, making it difficult to escape the dominant narrative and challenge the status quo. The system is designed to be self-perpetuating, ensuring its continued dominance. Let's dive even deeper into some psychological principles that make these tactics so effective. Cognitive biases, those mental shortcuts our brains take, can be easily exploited. Confirmation bias makes us seek out information confirming existing beliefs, blinding us to contradictory evidence. The availability heuristic leads us to overestimate the likelihood of easily recalled events, manipulating our fears. The Dunning-Kruger effect where unskilled individuals overestimate their abilities, makes people resistant to expert opinions, contributing to the spread of misinformation. Groupthink suppresses dissent, leading to flawed decision-making. In corporate boardrooms or government agencies, the desire for harmony can override critical evaluation, leading to disastrous consequences. The pressure to conform silences dissenting voices, stifling innovation and critical thinking. Groupthink thrives in environments where independent thought is discouraged and conformity is rewarded. The bystander effect fosters apathy, making people less likely to intervene in a crisis. Online harassment thrives on this effect, as people are less likely to intervene when they see someone being bullied. This creates a climate of impunity, emboldening perpetrators and silencing victims. The diffusion of responsibility, where individuals feel less responsible when others are present, contributes to this phenomenon. And of course, emotional manipulation is key. Fear-mongering, guilt-tripping, and manufactured outrage are powerful tools for controlling behavior. Political campaigns use fear to motivate voters. Corporations use guilt to sell products. Manufactured outrage distracts from real issues and polarizes society. By understanding these tactics, we can begin to recognize and resist them. So, how do we break free? It starts with mindfulness. Cultivate awareness of your thoughts and feelings without judgment, creating space for conscious choice. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool for developing this awareness. Even a few minutes of daily practice can make a significant difference. Try this. Close your eyes, focus on your breath, and observe your thoughts as they arise without getting carried away by them. Next, sharpen your critical thinking skills. Learn to evaluate information objectively and identify logical fallacies. Question everything you read and hear, especially if it confirms your existing beliefs. A simple checklist can help. Who is the source? What is their agenda? What evidence do they provide? Are there alternative explanations? Engage in self-inquiry. Question your limiting beliefs and assumptions, uncovering hidden biases and expanding your perspectives. Journaling prompts can be helpful. What are my core beliefs about myself and the world? Where did these beliefs come from? Are they serving me? Are they truly mine? Finally, start actively looking for the patterns of manipulation in your own life. Keep a manipulation journal to track instances of framing, anchoring, or other techniques you encounter. The more aware you become, the more resistant you will be. So, with those patterns of manipulation now in clearer view, let's synthesize them. Framing, anchoring, priming, cognitive dissonance, these aren't isolated incidents, but interconnected gears in a larger machine. They're implemented across media, education, and government, each vector reinforcing the others, creating a self-sustaining ecosystem of control. Recognizing this ecosystem, seeing the patterns for what they are, is the first crucial step towards breaking free. The cage, if it exists, isn't made of steel bars, but of cleverly constructed mental limitations. And here's the vital shift. You are not a powerless victim trapped inside this cage. You are an active creator, capable of dismantling those limitations, of reclaiming your mental sovereignty. Knowing the game, understanding the potential for manipulation, even in light of those alleged leaked documents hinting at advanced tech, doesn't condemn you to servitude. It empowers you to make more informed choices, to shape your own reality with intention and awareness. This isn't just about individual freedom. It's about the well-being of our entire society. Mass consciousness control, whether achieved through subtle persuasion or advanced technologies, undermines democratic processes, stifles creativity and innovation, and perpetuates social inequalities. Think about the ethical implications. Who gets to decide what's true? What happens to transparency and accountability when minds can be subtly influenced? Reclaiming our mental sovereignty isn't just a personal journey. It's a necessary step towards a collective awakening, a society where people are more aware, more conscious, and more empowered to shape their own destiny. By freeing yourself, you are contributing to a better, freer society for everyone. Your individual journey is a critical step in the larger movement towards a more aware and free world, not just a means to personal gain. So, returning to that initial question, what if your thoughts aren't entirely your own? The answer, while perhaps unsettling, is also empowering. While definitive proof of advanced control technologies may remain elusive, the possibility exists, making awareness and critical thinking not just desirable, but essential. What can you do, starting right now? First, dedicate just a few minutes each day to practicing mindfulness meditation. Even a short practice can create space between your thoughts and your reactions, allowing you to make more conscious choices. Second, actively deconstruct the narratives presented in the media. Question everything, seek out diverse perspectives, and challenge your own assumptions. Third, commit to regular self-reflection. Examine your beliefs, identify your biases, and ask yourself, are these truly my thoughts, or have they been subtly implanted? The power lies in consistent, conscious action. Start small, but start now. What can I do? You may wonder. The answer is simple but profound. You can choose to be aware. You can choose to question. You can choose to reclaim your mind. Even small acts of awareness and resistance can make a difference. You can help to build a more conscious and free world. The key is to be proactive, not passive, to embrace awareness, not resignation. Now, consider some further questions. What are the ethical implications of emerging technologies that can directly influence the brain? How can we promote media literacy and critical thinking skills in our schools and communities? And what role can art and creativity play in resisting mass consciousness control, in fostering independent thought and expression? I encourage you to explore the work of prominent thinkers on consciousness, influence, and social control. Delve into alternative media sources that challenge mainstream narratives. Learn more about the specific psychological techniques used in persuasion and how they're being deployed in the world around you. Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Connect with others who are interested in reclaiming their mental sovereignty. Let's build a community of conscious creators, united by a shared desire for a more aware and free world. And be sure to subscribe to the channel, because we'll be delving deeper into specific techniques of control, strategies for resistance, and the potential for collective awakening every week until the end of the year. Like this video, and share it with anyone who you think needs to hear this message. Let's spread awareness together.